The notion of performance art can cover a wide range of actions, artworks, and practices. Some of the things that come to mind to describe performances are live, ephemeral, participatory, physical, impermanent, immaterial, bodily, and spontaneous, but a performance could be all or none of these things. It's a form of artistic expression that's particularly interesting in the present moment, I think, when our experience of time, space, interaction, relationships, and routines are altered and shifting, as performances present a way of exploring communication, space, and identity. Think about how you could express and explore these themes, safely, of course, and following government guidelines, for example, through distance means of communication, so letters, Zoom, texts, or emails, or through examining the ways in which physical distancing has impacted the ways we experience public spaces, the shifts in our routines, and the way we experience our interior spaces, so working from home and different and new responsibilities that come with lockdown. I decided to invite some friends to participate in an experimental performance piece over Zoom. I invited each participant to read aloud from a form of textual media they'd been consuming, so for example, a book, a newspaper, an online newsfeed, for about 3 minutes, with each alternately muting and unmuting themselves for a different length of time. I've included some clips of the performance, as well as some of the thoughts of the participants on their experience of the piece, that hopefully will inspire you to make some performance art of your own.
So over a century,
Boris Johnson, please.
how do we learn these rules? One quote from Kate Crehan again. In a sense, we all have our own particular stock of common rest. There is some notion that some of this learning actually occurs in the womb, but not going to get into that at the moment. After immediate face education, if that's part of our
Fast
background,
travelers
the
and
media, very broadly defined, the cultural apparatus.
Continents at a music festival of gases with the necessary social distancing in place.
I thought it was really cool to like catch little glimpses of hearing what other people were saying when you're not just like focusing on your own task at hand. So then you would just catch things like really out of context, like Jen saying something like "help me." It was like, yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, I agree. I got like really distracted in the middle because like I could hear everyone else. I think you was like reading out news or something. I heard you say Boris Johnson at one point. And like, I stopped when Jen was talking also, and I completely lost track of what I was saying. But it was interesting.
I found I could hear quite a lot of what others were saying, and I actually got more used to it as time went on. Like it was definitely easier towards the end to do like the timing of when to mute myself and to like hear everything else.
That's interesting.
Like, at the beginning at first, it was just a bit like, what is going on?
I feel I wasn't very aware of what anyone was saying, like what overall they were saying, including myself. I feel I was just sort of beginning to just read the words.
Yeah, I kept doing the thing where, you know, when you hear someone say a word and then you say the word when you're trying to say something else.
So like the Zoom platform, this experience kind of summed that up for me when it's very much like in normal scenarios, like one person has to talk at a time. That's kind of the way the platform works. So this sort of brought home that idea when you're all in a group and everyone talks. It's kind of a bit of miscommunication.
Yeah,
right?
it's also kind of that we were all together, but also felt very apart and disjointed because everyone was like talking at the same time and saying different things. And so, it's interesting to like take part in an activity where we were all given basically the same instructions, but yet it feels very conflicting at the same time.
I feel like basically a lot of our lives are online at the moment, and the snippets of catching other people speaking about things feels very much like when you're online and that you just take in so much information and you only kind of properly like register snippets of things, and like that's kind of what the nature of being online at the moment is like, and how much of your life is online.
Yeah, I even kind of it reminded me of like things like reels. You know how you're on Instagram and you're like constantly scrolling and there's these like, you don't actually sit and watch an entire video. You can. I personally resonated with it because I feel like I've been on social media a lot more this year.
Mhm.
I feel that also like reflected how we're exposed to news and how we just get bombarded with so much news that we sort of lose sight of what it means and we don't have time to process what it means for us.
I hope this has given you some ideas of how you could experiment with performance art yourself. Thank you for watching, and a big thank you to Ella, Jen, Ali, Zoe, Ananya, and Lucy for taking part.